When did your partner's selfishness make you literally sick to your stomach? Marissa and I had been circling the pet debate for weeks, each of us stubborn in our own way. She wanted a cat, warm, affectionate, familiar. Look, I said, rubbing my temples. I'm not against having a pet. I just need to be able to breathe in my own home. A cat isn't possible. Marissa folded her arms tight, lips pressed into a line. Then she sighed. Fine. What about a rabbit? They're quiet, soft, and low maintenance. You won't get sick, and I'll still get something to cuddle. I blinked, surprised. A rabbit could work, I admitted, as long as it's hypoallergenic and we pick it together. She reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine. Together, she echoed. We started tossing around names, laughing like old times until we landed on one we both liked. Clover. On the day we meant to get our pet, a ladder slipped under me while I was reaching for a box. The EMTs rushed me out, and soon I was strapped to a hospital bed, doped up on painkillers that left me heavy and foggy. Marissa visited every day. She talked a lot, filling the silence, but it wasn't the soothing kind of chatter. It was about how hard this all was on her. Driving to the hospital every day, taking time off work, answering calls from my family. I'm doing everything for you, she reminded me again and again. I would nod, too exhausted to argue. Then one afternoon, she leaned over my bed, eyes shining with excitement. Guess what? She said, holding up her phone. She held up her phone, showing me a blurry photo. Something small and fuzzy sat on a blanket. I got Clover, she whispered. I looked for a second at the picture. Weren't we supposed to go together? I know, but you were in the hospital, so I thought she would be a nice surprise when you got home. Isn't it perfect? I blinked hard, fighting the drug haze. The picture looked like a rabbit, or maybe a pillow. My head swam. Well, that's nice. I can't wait to meet her, I mumbled, too weak to argue. She kissed my forehead, and I drifted back into the dark. Coming home should have been comforting, but instead, it felt staged. The apartment smelled like lavender cleaner, with sticky notes reading, "Welcome home," on every surface. Marissa fussed over me, steering me to the couch, never letting me wander too far. When I asked to see Clover, Marissa responded, "Mom's watching the pet in the spare room. You need rest, not distractions. Don't worry, you'll meet her soon." Days passed, and soon never came. I heard the faint jingle of a bell, the sound of scratching, but every time I asked, Marissa dodged me. Later, she'd insist, her smile a little too tight. Finally, when she ran out for groceries, curiosity won. I hobbled on crutches to the spare room and pushed the door open. Two glowing green eyes met mine. A gray cat stretched across the bed, tail flicking like a whip. My throat tightened instantly. My chest prickled with that familiar allergic burn. I stumbled back, coughing, as the truth slammed into me. She hadn't just ignored our decision. She'd lied straight to my face while I was stuck in a hospital bed. When Marissa returned, I didn't even wait. "It's a cat," I said, my voice hoarse. "You promised. You swore it would be a rabbit. Something safe. You lied." Her smile vanished. "You're overreacting. It's Clover. We agreed on the name, didn't we? The name doesn't matter. You knew what we agreed on." She slammed the groceries down, eyes flashing. "I wanted a cat. I've told you that from the start. This is the same breed as Misty. Misty was her childhood cat, the one I had heard countless stories about. She was the only one there for me when everything was falling apart. I need this." "And what about me?" I shot back. "What about my health? My allergies? I can't even breathe in that room. You always make everything about you," she snapped, voice rising. "Do you know how long I've wanted this? Just because you sneeze a little doesn't mean I should give up the one thing that makes me happy." "A little?" I coughed, my chest burning. "I can't walk into that room without choking. You didn't get a pet for us? You got a replacement for your past." Her lip curled. "Maybe if you weren't so weak, you could handle it. But you never bend. You never give me what I need. You just hide behind your allergies and your rules. You're selfish." I laughed, bitter and hollow. "Selfish? I bent for years, Marissa. I bent until I broke, and now I'm done." She smirked. "Oh, come on. You're not serious. You're just mad. You always cool off." "Not this time," I said flatly. Her smile faltered. "Stop. You're not really breaking up with me over this." I stood on my crutches. "Not just over this. Over everything. The lies, the fights, the way you put yourself first every time." This was the last straw. Her eyes widened, her lips trembling as the truth hit her. "You don't mean that. You can't." I shook my head gently. "You already made your choice. Now I'm making mine." I haven't seen her since.